So we're going to get into some polynomials, and so this is just a fancy word for polynomial is a numerical expression with variables and coefficients. Okay, and so we'll go over what that actually means. So for example, we have this 4x right here, right? This is called a term. Okay, so it's the 4x term, and the coefficient is the number in front of it. Okay, so the number in front of a variable is always called the coefficient, and this is a term, and when there's only one term like this, it's called a monomial. When we have two terms, 4x plus 9, we have term 1, term 2, right, the 4x, and then the 9, two different terms. That's called a binomial, 2 bi. And then sometimes we will have 3 or more, right? So if we have 3 terms, we have one term here, 5x squared term, we have another term, the 4x, we have another term, the 9. That is called a trinomial. Okay, and so what we're doing today is we're just going to come up with visuals for this because there's a bunch of numbers, a bunch of symbols, exponents, but we're going to start to visualize these using different shapes again. So we're going to make sense of some of these polynomials using these shapes. Okay, so on your paper, go ahead and draw a square. And this square is going to represent the x squared piece. This skinny rectangle is going to represent just an x. And this small square is going to represent a 1. So what we're going to do is we are going to write the polynomial that corresponds with different amounts of these. So let's say, once this erases, we have these pieces here. So we can write a polynomial which looks something like this that represents these, right? So we have how many x squareds? We have 1, 2. So we have 2 x squared pieces. We have 1, 2, 3 x's plus 3x plus, and then we have 1, 2 plus 2. So that is the polynomial that represents these shapes. And so we can also do it the other way, right? If we're given 3x squared plus 4x plus 1, we can come up with the drawings that represent this. So we have 3 x squareds, right? So we're going to have 3 of those squares. We're going to have 4 x's, so we're going to have 4 of these skinny rectangles. So we got 4 of those. And then we have plus 1. So that polynomial is represented by these shapes. We'll do one more, 2x squared plus 2x plus 1. That means we have 2 of those squares plus 2 of those skinny rectangles plus 1. Thank you for listening.